Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one and only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, admirer of autumny foliage. Here off to a 1v1 own Angoville Farms. In the south, we have Oziligath fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Here with the 4th Fallschirmjaegers to be shown straight in with some Fallschirmpioneer and a Kettenkrad. North it is Tonimontana fighting for the British Empire, the Commonwealth here with the 58th Infantry Division and Canadian Shock. Oh boy, double sabres here as he swiftly moves forward here for the British Empire. As always, big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, continue to make all these wonderful videos possible with their generous contributions towards the Propagandacast. Big thanks there, and a big thanks to keep commenting and liking on my videos. Helps out immensely with the YouTube algorithms. It keeps the cat from biting off my fingers. So we are off here with Oziligath and Tonimontana. Dingo on the way there in the South Kettenkrad, racing forwards. In the background, Basil insisting it's his dinner time when it isn't. First shots fired, he subscribes on the Pioneers. Fallschirm Pioneers having to move to assist here, meaning he just narrowly doesn't get the fuel ignition point here. And in fact, with Tonimontana pouring in everything here, it's very likely he won't even get the fuel point either. So this unfortunately going nowhere for Oziligath. And he pretty much just commits to the only action he can take, which is just to retreat the Fallschirm Pioneers and the Pioneers instead of suffering any needless wipes. So rough start there for the Germans. Of course, the Kettenkrad on the west is making some good success. We've got the Dingo there racing and hoping he'll find a Kettenkrad or something else to shoot. Step on it, Fred. I smell Kettenkrads. How do you smell those? You know, diesel. Oh. And he's pushing forwards here. Fallschirm Pioneers also on the move here. Dingo there about to clash with the Grenadier and the Carnatic bolt action rifles. Getting some good shots in there. Pretty good luck here for Oziligath. Fallschirm around the flank. Getting more shots in on the Dingo. Already down to half health here. But so far, British forces are definitely in the resource side on things. No, because of the Dingo down here. Tonimontana underestimating Oziligath and his infantry. Loses the Dingo. Turns into a ball of fire. Good lord.
Awaiting orders!
And the Fallschirm Pioneers have reached Veterans who won already, gaining them a self-healing and a bit of capturability. Meanwhile, Tony going straight for the incendiary grenade ability there. Not that he's actually got much to toss them with, interestingly enough. More grenadiers for Oziligath.
Everyone assemble outside.
Basil being Basil and obviously wanting attention here, because again, cats don't quite know the time. They don't work with summertime and wintertime.
What are your
bastards. So, southwest there, steadily making progress, could go straight for the fuel point again, but seemingly Oziligath is being a bit more cautious. Perhaps concerned there could be like a second Dingo coming, which isn't common, but some players, of course, do have that bit of a knack for it, so this could be very well what Oziligath is, you know, betting on. We also got reconnaissance run here, not the strafing run. There's Tonimontana threatening the cut-off point. Likely may see some Fallschirmjaegers then, because it's not, say, you know, beelining for cheaper reinforcements here. 496, British force here, responding to Oziligath's ruthless move towards the fuel point. British force, of course, they panicking over the possibility that fuel supplies might be cut off and thus losing a crucial way of warming up their tea. This is Captain Wilberforce. Germans are seen harassing the fuel. Protect it or the tea will go cold. Another Grenadier squad there for Oziligath. Kettenkrad zooming about, gaining Veterans who won. As Oziligath commits to another major withdrawal here away from British lines. Two sections, two sabs that Tonimontana, of course, with one Dingo left burning and smouldering. No, nothing but mostly smouldering wreckage there. The two Tommies roasting slowly.
Victory point is under enemy control.
Amerigo section around the barn here. That's going to be a tough push here. Oziligath to make under heavy fire. Then moving straight to the second section here. Grenadiers being big push for ultimately Oziligath. We are seeing the Fallschirmpioneer taking losses there as the Lee Enfield's cut through. Jürgen there, quick getting promoted to a Fallschirm Pioneer. Grenadiers getting ripped apart. And there you go. Another merge here. fun fact, it was in fact uncommon in, in particular War on in certain cases where units would just draw replacements from, like, very scattered other units, like, perhaps lower quality. For example, in Normandy, 352nd Infantry Division, for example, at one point, after some of the initial battles, actually was given authorization to just recruit anyone in its general sector as replacement. That could have been, like, security troops, troops on leave, spare Luftwaffe personnel, like, just, like, no longer manning, say, any weapons, stuff like that. Boom. Suddenly, you're a replacement for, like, the Infantry Division. So, merging, in a sense, does kind of fit the bill there. Fun fact. Humber Armored Car on the way there for Tonimontana. And, of course, Oziligath here lacking any anti-tank weapons like Panzerfaust, and maybe the occasional mine there, is going to be in a bit of a rough spot against that. Still, he's mentally hit here. Tony's fuel point there. But there is a Humber moving in there with its 20mm autocannon. Cutter pumping hit again.
We have territory cut off from
And there you go. Got the Canadian healing there going on. Humber going straight for Kettenkrad. Making a quick switch here through a gap in the hedges. Tony does not immediately pursue, which could allow here Oziligath to save his Kettenkrad from otherwise British-induced demise. We see the Western fuel pump falling here, and Owen cut off here, so suddenly Oziligath is not getting that much more fuel than his opponent.
He's fucking dead.
Quite hectic stuff here. Panzer Grenadiers, we've got grenade launchers here for the Fallschirmjaegers. Thumbs up to that. First shot, though, goes way over the mark there.
They are securing our capture point.
Another section with for Tonimontana. No Canadians for him so far. Second shot lands a bit best hit on the Humber armoured car. Pack 40 slowly arriving here for Oziligath. No sign of Fallschirmjaegers yet. Counter the Panzer Grenadiers, obviously. Clearly prioritising the destruction of the Humber armoured car than, some Panzer Grenadiers.
Don't go.
The enemy has claimed our territory.
Cooper there being hit. Canadian healing there kicking in. I know it has another name, but attacking spirit, but I'm just going to call it Canadian healing.
Park deployed.
Because the other one is just, it just sounds too weird for me. Attacking spirit. Anyway, sappers there, forced back. Got some mines laid down there carefully at the time, and there go another merch here with a Fallschirmjaeger. We got Tonimontana what's pushing in, grenade launches. Flying off at quite the angle, pack 40 going up here. Front section pushing forwards here. They're decent hit and gaining better through than the Fallschirmjaeger already. That's a decent boost there too. So that's forces. Medic station. Mines exploding in the section. Of course, for Oziligath, with this much infantry already, Pursuit's going to go for more medic bunker. Would be a better investment there. Of course, there's just the issue. Doesn't have a lot of munitions, so obviously
We have lost a sector.
you definitely want some healing going. So getting the medic station upgrade is still pretty good. But again, if he's going to go for this much infantry, even more medic bunker really would be a great investment for him down the road.
You need us?
Of course, there's nothing wrong having both of them because that means your units heal really fast. By the way, that's actually healing can stack. My understanding. So,
Commandant?
Kettenkrad being fixed up, pushing forwards again. Use the grenade launcher flash out those Tommies inside the house. 507 so far complete here in terms of extra points for Tony over Oziligath.
Enemy forces have captured
South
a
and left
victory
flank
point.
here. Canadian healing there kicking in.
Enemy attacking!
And he's charging to bottom of the Pioneers. Lone section holding up there. They do get their current bonus. Once the Grenadiers are in there, that's just retreat from Tony. Could have tried to keep the fight a little bit long going there, but ultimately wasn't looking great. We do have the grenades finally researched. We also get training on the way there for Tony. Top of his 6-pounder going to obviously knock out the massive threat that is the Kettenkrad. Panzer Grenadiers on the way there. Also has Fallschirmjaegers unlocked, so we'll have to see what he does there. Pretty rare, though, mind you, to see you play active mixing Panzer Grenadiers and Fallschirmjaegers. Theoretically, it can happen.
Panzer Grenadiere have been deployed. Deployed
But
to
typically,
the
you're either in on the Panzergrenadiers or in on the Fallschirmjaegers. There's very rarely any overlap.
Grenadiers ready and mostly able.
Double Brent sections up in the use of the Grenadiers taking heavy losses.
Take cover, Kinder.
As those bullets just rip through them, half the squad, they're gone in the blink of an eye. Do not want to take the infantry sections with Bren guns, likely particularly when they get training going. That really makes them very uncomfortable to deal with.
Return fire!
Fires here. Sappers dodging grenades out of the Arnauten Buchse. In the western pointy, Kettenkrat withdrawing. Back at base, a bit of healing. Panzergrenadiers bringing them with a Sturmgewehre 44. Using them as the MP44, machine stolen 44. Now we've got Hummer racing and Sappers that falls back finally. But we got that Hummer there, and so the guys pack 40 is taking a bit longer to get there. West side British forces of the 58th are steadily making progress against the 4th Flight Division, which is noteworthy for actually being a mixed German and Italian paratroop division. So,
Commandant,
little
you have
fun
command
fact
points
there.
available.
Sub close against the Panzergrenadiers, Sten guns and flamethrowers versus the Sturmgewehre. Got the incendiary debuff there, knocking on it as well there. But there you go, infantry round to assist, giving the Panzergrenadiers a few replacements.
Panzergrenadier Company is being
Officer
upgraded.
quarters and a Fallschirmjäger squad inbound here for Oziligath, so he is actually going to mix them up there. Which is going to be a good highlight, just to know how effective they are, I guess. Against each other there. Personally, I do find myself preferring the Fallschirmjägers because the DPS spread is better and they get Pantherfast plus ambush camouflage. But that said, they aren't quite as durable as the Panzergrenadiers.
Fallschirmjäger deployed. Headquarters has an officer stationed.
With Bren section in trouble, we've got Fallschirmjägers on one side, Panzergrenadiers on the other. Both veterans run obviously. There goes section sense going away there under heavy automatic fire. Crikey, those Germans got a bloody lot of automatics!
Alarm. Sector overrun.
I'm surprised you know such a fancy word there, Nigel. Wells, I listened in school. Mostly. I'm moving in there, another section there for Tony. Got the flares as well there, just withdrawing. And Falcon Corps looking to get a bit of distance, right to bait into the pack 40 and maybe hit them with a handfast return.
We have lost control of a victory point.
Northeast Sappers busy. We got the other section out there for Tony.
Orders complete. We're ready. We have orders.
Got the Bren section moving forwards. Fallschirmjägers, they're ready to unleash hell there with their Fallschirmjäger S-46. East side Sapper section move there. No sign of upgrades there. Oziligath take out some Stooks, but it goes straight for the Panzer Company maybe, or Sighted. There's only quite a few parts here that Oziligath could send upon against Tonimontana. 479 is the 355 in the west here section versus the Grenadiers. That said, we do get a grenade off here, but they do have veterans here too, so a bit of a complicated state of affairs here, but I think it's one that Tony's section will ultimately win though. Yeah. East side here, Fallschirmjäger Grenadiers pulled in for the Sappers there, west side, Fallschirmjäger swinging westwards to assist with the threats there, as the British Army continues to sort of press across the good part of the map here. That said, Oziligath does continue to maintain good victory point control so far. There goes sections pulls back by the automatic fire, the Panzergrenadier. And here in the west section routed by the Fallschirmjägers. And there, Fallschirmjäger S-42, which in terms of design was very much largely in line with what the assault rifle was. There's basically, according to the German army, like a rifle that could double as a light machine gun. The only difference really was just the size of the cartridge, and also the FD-42 was a lot more expensive to make and harder to make. So they never really got a lot of them, I think something like 20,000. Meanwhile, the Sturmgewehr has something like, I think 400,000 or something, maybe. Again, the numbers I don't quite remember accurately, so I'm probably off, at least in the case of the Sturmgewehrs, by a fat margin. But sort of to give you like a rough idea, like, you know, the sheer numbers produced there.
Victory point lost.
And more crucially, the FT-42 was never really, like, I think, from my understanding, handed out like in large numbers, like an individual squad, but just more handed out like a light machine gun. Had like maybe one in an MG-42, for example, in a Fallschirmjäger squad. But apparently they were used very much like assault rifle, sort of spread out on the end. Great Lord gets the Berniers forcing them back here. Sections poking forwards again. We want to see Oziligath's lines being pressured here by the British. Panzer Company, so no scoops here for Oziligath. Shame, but no.
Fuck! Enemy infantry!
It's his decision to make. There we go, fighting those catch the Bren section here, letting loose with their Bren gun in the Lee Enfield.
Ready to deploy!
Doing a lot of damage there.
On station!
Standing by for order.
Like beer, waiting to scout.
And some mines. A good spot, of course, one thing you mind about Angoville Farms, like these spots here, are really good to mine. Thumbs up there, of course, also pretty good spot to mine. Good spot to mine. Reasonable spot. So there's typically less movement around here. Crusader tanks alive for Tony, who's already rushed up in terms of the tech tree. Thumbs to that. Fallschirmjäger boys to catch the Bren section, forcing the way. Yeah, Oziligath is really strong with the field control. Like, Tony's really been good at that, though. He has certainly been significantly less good at victory points. Got those Panzers being forced with their Sturmgewehre. Going for the sappers.
Territory lost.
Letting loose with the Sturmgewehre. Got 466 with 325 here. Panzer taking massive amounts of damage. Getting ripped apart here up close by the sappers. Yeah. Much cheaper unit beating a notably more advanced unit. At least on paper advanced unit. Highlighting why you may not in fact see a lot of Wehrmacht players go for their version of the Panzer Grenadiers, because they're just not that great. Like in terms of DPS, they're sort of like stuck in this spot where they do less damage than say a unit with, like, you know, some machine guns, but at the same time, considering they're assault rifles, they don't really feel like assault rifles. I mean, in that sense, like the Fallschirmjägers, ostensibly, again, you know, battle rifles still have much better DPS performance there as well. So the Panzer is just kind of, in terms of like damage, they end up in this zone where it just isn't very good, no matter what. Ooh, nice incendiary grenade there. Of course, the Fallschirmjägers in the end are squishier compared to the Panzer Grenadiers, but as long as they do more damage, that's really what matters for a lot of players in the end, you know. How many do they actually end up dropping? There you go. Or like Infantry 2, they have 9 kills. Panzer in comparison got 4 kills, and they get to Infantry 2 despite being on the field longer. So you can already like sense there, like, there are some technical differences there, where again, like, even if the Panzer in some regards, you know, are definitely, you know, more durable and theoretically even have like tactical assault, it just, or tactical assault, but you know, whatever it's called in that version, it just aren't that great and effective in the end. And there you go, took heavy losses trying to close in. So they're just really just stuck in this zone where they just aren't really going to do a great job no matter what. And this is why you just don't see them a lot of the time. Meanwhile, demolition sappers have for Tonimontana, which makes them even tougher as they gain a 20, I think, what was the 25% damage reduction bonus. Free flamethrowers if they don't have them, minesweeper kits, and they can throw off, I think, demolition charges. So really nasty, and it also, I think, going to further make the Panzer Grenadiers feel a bit awkward. We do get here cheaper reinforcements up for Oziligath, so thumbs up to that. Infantry reserves unlocked.
Alarm. Sector overrun.
And the Luftwaffe certainly was one of the big infantry reserves for the German army during the Second World War. The other one was the Kriegsmarine. Fallschirmjäger Grenadier vorwärts.
You have 3 command points.
Yeah, so far Tonimontana can apply excellent pressure against Oziligath. The addition of the Crusader tank certainly is not aiding Oziligath and like rolling onto the map, but it still has a good victory for need for now. Fallschirmjägers can do good work there with their Fallschirmjäger there. We actually have an MD4 chart here for Oziligath. Meanwhile, smoke ability deck lined up here for Tonimontana. The smoke operation. But of course, merge here with a Fallschirmjäger. Pack in trouble as British Bren sections move in there. You got a total of 3 of them. Finishing up this 4th section yet been upgraded. I figured you'd do that. Section the ambush, the Fallschirmjaegers quickly getting a good drop in terms of damage.
Ready to deploy.
Come on, Ludwig. I don't care if you used to be a grenadier. Aim that Fallschirmjäger properly.
Received our upgrade.
Now the Crusader there.
Open fire! Fire back!
For Mr. Tonimontana.
We're taking Panzer fire!
Punching, catching the sappers here, and again,
We have lost the
demolition
sector.
sappers. So it's not really looking great for the Panzers. They're just getting shredded here. We do get a grenade off. And of course, we've got the debuff, which is really, I think, helping the Panzer Grenadiers here. He just ends up retreating as this engagement is just going very pear-shaped. So unfortunately for Oziligath, this Panzer Grenadier is already looking a bit like an awkward investment.
Command points should be assigned when
Arching
possible,
pinning it
Commandant.
apart.
Stuka aircraft ready to loiter the target area.
Grabbing points here, we got 424 to 284.
Grenadiers have completed the task. Back
Jawohl.
to full strength.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Crusaders on the move, Bren sections, regular sections, and there you go. 4th Bren gun handed out there. That's a lot of Bren guns. There you go. Meeting Crusaders, Oziligath just melts away there. Best decision you could make. They're really, under the current circumstance, you'll just lose some very expensive
The enemy holds
infantry.
all victory
Which
points.
really would only aid Montana in the whole mission of destroying the Germans. Cairncraft flying down as well there.
Vehicle is lost.
Things for Oziligath is definitely looking very uncomfortable here. He's closing in on that Panda 4 though. But take a bit while to get there. Due to the manpower bleeding despite all of his best efforts.
Taking hit!
British holding in here, getting caught though by the machine gun bunker here. Pack could also join in here. There you go. Find your Panda 4 there for Oziligath. Thumbs up here. Fallschirmjaegers gaining veterancy in the ace level. 12 kills versus the Panzer Grenadiers 5. So again, since last time, the Panzer Grenadiers, the Fallschirmjaegers gained several more kills. And like initially the veteran. Meanwhile, the Panzer gained like 1 more casualty. Again, really just highlighting that the way the Panzer Grenadiers do damage isn't very good. Just, again, their arc of fire, like the way, the arc of DPS is what we would call it, like, the curve, just isn't very good for them at all. That really hurts them, in just in terms of like being a viable unit.
Panzer
In that
field
sense,
ready.
they very much suffer from the same issue that Panzer Grenadiers and CoH3 did, which, and that's even despite them actually having a fireman actually more
Enemy
durable.
forces have claimed our
The way
territory.
their assault rifles have been balanced just pretty much means they're not going to be very good, if ever. Another
The
trade out
enemy
for
has
Tonimontana.
claimed our
First one, of course, got
territory
knocked
for
out
their
there
own.
by a mine. Again, good mine there, Oziligath, thumbs up. And Angoville Farms is always one of those maps that's like really good to like, get a hang of mining, because if you like figure out how to mine on this map, you're going to be pretty good at mining on most maps. So it's a very good map to like, I think help you sort of get into the mining mines. It has a lot of these natural points that are just great to mine, so it's certainly something I
Victory point
recommend for
lost.
people who like look to get better at mining. Find yourself a match in Angoville and just, use the natural contours of the map here to like teach you to mine better. Or, hit your opponent's mines if they're doing the same. There you go, Crusader with the engine damage. Then we could see wiping on the Grenadiers, that'd be a big pain for them, but a great hit for Tonimontana. No, some local Italian masonry there saves them mostly, except for there's only been units saved here.
Enemy forces have captured a
Section
victory
forced
point.
away. And we got the sappers how to work to fix up the Crusader tank as fast as possible. Oziligath just doesn't have any ability to like quickly move in and just, finish the job here.
What needs to be done?
Machine guns, Fallschirmjaegers swinging in there. 59 is 256. It Granny's being met with the 2 Crusader tanks, taking a lot of
The
damage.
enemy has claimed our sector.
Got the rough grenade off there.
Commandant,
Could see a wipe here. I'd say there's very good chunks with the Fallschirmjaegers there and the infantry joining in the fun here. And there you go. Wipe secured, a stinging blow there to
Enemy forces have
Tonimontana
claimed our
and the
territory.
50th Infantry Division. 8 Fallschirmjägers, the sappers. They got 10 Still at 5. Meanwhile, another cruiser tank here for Tony. But now we got much stronger map control here. Tony definitely working out much harder now, lowering the victory point count here of Oziligath as well. Second Panther almost done here. Definitely should consider some armored science courtesy to all the Crusaders. Health is going to be very important. There you go, Panther moving in there with their Sturmgewehr, unleashing a hailstorm of automatic fire. Section routed, sent packing. Second Panther around there, got tank for Iceland here, or at least not as heavily supported. We got smoke going in, we got the Crusaders starting in, we got a lighter though from Oziligath there. Sab's in trouble here, second Panther arriving. There you go. Tonimontana in the 58th Division just falling back here as another Crusader swings in there. Talking a bit of damage from the Luftwaffe. And in the west side here, lone Sap second forwards, but met with the Fallschirmjaegers is quick to retreat. And for arriving, Crusaders, there we go. And here we see Unfortunate going in too hard, allowing the Crusaders to get behind, of course, with the bonus damage to rear hit. The Crusaders are quite excellent at exploiting this. Is why Crusaders basically surged up in popularity, by the way. Is that bonus now, I guess. If you get a lot of Crusaders get up behind an enemy tank, you can quickly take it out with that now. So, Oziligath, they quit losing both Panther Forces is a massive blow. They're really like eroding, in a sense, like whatever tactical advantage you always gained up until that point. So, big win here for Tonimontana. Like 2 Panther Forces down, not a single Crusader tank loss. I mean, sure did lose some other units elsewhere, but again, he's got the tank advantage now. Do have another pack forward in there for Oziligath and the 4th Fallschirmjäger Division.
Grenadiers ready.
5th Fallschirmjäger Company. And we got armor training on the way there. For Tonimontana, of course, going to be a great addition for his tanks, his Crusaders. Thumbs up to that. Meanwhile, Oziligath 2nd Pack 40 is right around the corner. There you go.
Gun and crew are ready for orders.
Come on, Ludwig. Get that pack moving.
You need AT support?
Victory point is under enemy control.
328 to 233. Still got a lead for Oziligath, but Tonimontana has at least to some degree been able to like close the gap somewhat there. Just once more on the move, Grenadiers are being met with heavy fire there. Of course, with the training there, they do get some nice bonuses. It's being more accurate, shoot fast. There go, can't find the pack. Do get a smoke operation unleashed here. Grenadiers wiped though. Pack's in trouble falling wood. See one of the Crusaders go down here at least though. But the smoke is making it difficult for Oziligath to maintain a good defense. Got one of the Crusader tanks. Section in the west, keeping a lot of the Fallschirm Pioneers, the Fallschirmjägers, even as the anti-tank and supporting them in the rear are getting destroyed here. Another Panther for Oziligath. Section almost getting wiped out here by the Fallschirm Pioneer and the Fallschirmjägers. A heroic defense and got the white with the rifle grenade. Or grenade. And technically the grenade launcher does fire rifle grenades. Fun fact, Pack White almost wiped here by the Crusaders. Fallschirm Pioneer withdrawing, Fallschirmjägers also pulling back here, going to risky, but that's it, at least here. Tonimontana's smoke operation helps out Oziligath somewhat. Hectic stuff here, Sap's met with MD-42 bunker, and he loses his ace pack with another Panther already. What an absolutely brutal and ruthless battle now. 296 to 233. Mine spotted by all the infantry right past it, so they can't deal with it.
Infantry company. The enemy has claimed our sector.
Good shot there, trying his best to keep the pack safe there from the British. We've got one of the packs destroyed. Losing both the packs is definitely going to make things tough for Oziligath. But there we go. He narrowly gets the Pack 40 back in action for the Swaziland. Super close call there though for Oziligath. East side, Panzer is on the move again. Got 276 to 233.
All replacements. Unlucky day.
Oziligath certainly feeling the heat here.
The men are ready.
Pushing westwards, of course, could grab the Bren gun here. Maybe his Panzer Grenadiers, they get some better DPS.
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Ends up being the Grenadiers. I mean, they'd also benefit from it as well, obviously, but they are less expensive.
We hear you.
Another Crusader taking in for Tonimontana. Quick bit of reconnaissance out of Oziligath, getting a bit of the opponent's up to. Thumbs up to him and the 4th Fallschirmjäger Sean. He's got the Bren gun. And there we go. Archman team with the advancing Bren section, dropping there Lawrence and Timothy. Pioneers to close the Escalation. Tactical blasting, Fallschirmjägers there holding up in heavy cover. Could maybe do with a bit of quick merge. There we go. Another Crusader tank there. Almost done. Oziligath, of course, could soon go for more Panda Force. He might also, of course, want to go for Stooks, but that said, at this stage of the game, it might just feel too bad for Oziligath to have to take up and then build Stooks. So it will still take some time to really get a critical mass going to really get back against Crusaders. But Tony pushing for foot guards. And we got another big push. And again here, with the Incendiary Bow, it becomes even easier for the Crusaders to bypass. It's almost like another reason why I might still continue to see some usage, because that Incendiary ability like debuff tanks is like really good and further synergizes with these kind of like aggressive Crusader tactics on top of the smoke, which most likely to blind enemy anti-tank positions. So a lot of synergies here with just having a lot of Crusader tanks for Tonimontana and the Canadian Shock. This definitely is not making things easy for Scott. There you go. Lost the Panther Force, about to lose his pack here. We do have another Panther on the way.
One of our anti-tank guns has been
It's going to be tough here for like Oziligath to, not immediately use it. Because in the way that Tonimontana is just applying intense and immense pressure on him. We get a Panther Force off here, engine blown up, the Grenadiers here themselves get taken out here. Massive blow there to Oziligath and Das Vaterland. There you go, another pack destroyed.
Panzer IV is field ready.
Another Panther already. "30 casualties, 9. They've yet to admit at least they are close.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Northeast British section, their basic ground points. Got 269, 723. What's this? We got a British entertainment that could be seized here by Oziligath, and his Panzer Grenadier is finally get back to 3. Finally. Foot guards on the move, they're trying to clear that anti-tank of any German gunners. But his foot guards are taking immense amounts of damage in return here. Cuts it knocked out. 6-1 gun at the ready, but a big tank by the Bren section, immediately crewing it. Looks like here that he may not be able to get off with it. We get another pack forward for Oziligath, and the 4th Fallschirmjäger shown here in the face of the 58th Infantry Division, number 3 Company. A lot of pressure here, a lot of action. Tony here could go for some more foot guards, as he's definitely short on the fuel for another Crusader anytime soon. He's also starting to once more fall behind here Oziligath in terms of victory points.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
6-pounder recruit for the umpteenth time, made you see that merge with it. But of course, even with that merge, it's going to be tough for the saps and the Crusaders just lay loose on the gun crew. And in the east here, Fallschirmjäger going for the Bren section, forward by Infantry 42. Good push here for Oziligath. Small but strong tactical formation that can easily come in a single section of Infantry 3, while suffering only some losses. Attacking again, popping the smoke here, creating another dense field that makes it difficult for Oziligath to really coordinate a cohesive defense against Tonimontana.
Our front line fails.
Very strong, you see their ability. Very strong. Panther Force about to get knocked out again. Really so many Panther Force lost here for Oziligath, and it just hasn't quite been able to take out as many tanks from attorneys. This is another significant loss here to Oziligath. He does fight one of the demolition sample sections. It's not all bad, but
a park gun has been knocked out.
Certainly looking pretty rough going here for Oziligath in the face of Tonimontana's Crusader assaults. There go, Panzer push back the Bren section. They got a flame from those chaps. Also help with the DPS a bit. Quite a few Pentaforce here lost so far for Oziligath. Bit quiet here as the battlefield gently smoulders. Enemy foot holding up the line. Got the Bren section around it. We got the mines here out of Oziligath. This with those mines are definitely one of his best tools against Crusaders because it doesn't matter if they're smoked down,
Victory point
they'll
lost.
still go off. Another bit of area control. Of course, Oziligath doing his best to keep it like a close eye as to what it spins up to so it doesn't get surprised. Because with those Crusaders in from an angle, he's definitely not ready for it all. Things are going to get even uglier for him, so definitely making a lot of sense there with that bit of air reconnaissance. As you can see there, Tony's in fact now switched towards the east, where most of the victory points actually are. He definitely needs more victory points. One second point with heroic effort, another Pentaforce for Oziligath, and does far to land. Casualty wise, there's definitely a bit of a gap there that is not benefiting Oziligath even remotely.
Don't go! Aim your rifle and fire!
Got the Grenadiers and the Fallschirmjaegers squad here. Crusaders moving in, going hard for the Germans, closing in their pack firing.
The enemy have taken our territory.
Pentaforce almost done, going in hard here. Tony here is fearless, mostly in the face of the German guns. And there you go, Panzer will push back a Brent section here.
Panzer 4 reporting in.
Got the Pentaforce ready. We'll have to see how that one lasts in the face of Tonimontana's Crusader Swarm. Air reconnaissance again. Got the extra supporting here, the Pentaforce alongside the Fallschirmjaegers and Grenadiers. Machine guns, thumbs up there to Oziligath. Looks to be a fairly well coordinated push
They're
there.
not falter now. They only have 100 points.
Less than a points left in there. Go Crusaders going in hard. Pentaforce flanks, but got the foot guards and flanks, who's not ready for that. And this allows it Tonimontana to nonetheless surprise Oziligath, despite the air reconnaissance. Do get a loiter, but again, he's already lost his Pentaforce. And it looks like he won't be able to take out any of the Crusaders. He could maybe at least take out the foot guards. Even that looks like it may just be a bit of a reach. Yes, the foot guards also escape here. Oziligath and his wrath. That was just not good there. Like he was moving forward, but then suddenly foot guard on the
Enemy
flank.
forces have
Force
captured
him
a
to switch
victory
the
point.
tank side up, and that allowed the Crusaders to swing in and just quickly knock it out. Rough spot here for the Germans once more. Looked like they were almost in the clear, and then boom. Even the lighter just ended up not doing too much for him there either. Another Pentaforce, or Pack 40 here for Oziligath. Definitely not another Pentaforce, at least not for now. More mines down there. Crusaders laying loose there with its 2-pounder gun. 227 versus 87. I mean, he could try and make a move for that victory point. They can just get the bleed on once more versus Tonimontana. I mean, at this rate, it does look like it could be Oziligath's best bet. I mean, this match is just won by victory points.
Anti-tank gun and crew are ready for
Seeing the
order.
current discrepancy in terms of overall Chelsea casualty rates there in the two. There you go. Anti-tanks being engaging the British tanks at a nice casualty safe distance.
We have lost the sector.
115 versus 87. Foot guards putting up the heroics down there, but there goes it. Just time for another flank here. Another angle. Set not fast enough. And Oziligath was quick to bring his attack front to bear. There you go, Crusaders getting absolutely pummeled there. Far up north, we've got the victory point being seized finally by the Fallschirmjaegers under Oziligath's command. Thumbs up.
MG deploying here.
Got a bit of pressure on both players, but a different kind of pressure. Now we got Oziligath there with a Sturmpanzer fear. Obviously going to help us the infantry, but makes for a big Crusaders. So at least with that one, the Crusaders will try to attack head on at least. So who knows? A foot guards right, it's friend section routed. Fallschirmjaegers closing in again here. 37 casualties, 19. These are picking up now with the flamethrower batch than 3, but it's not like they're very far ahead of the Grenadiers.
Under enemy control.
They're going the east. Crusader tanks moving in here. That said, Tonimontana I think ends up not pushing too far enough, giving Oziligath I think more time to respond to this maneuver here. And we got a 5th Crusader tank for Tonimontana going hard on those tanks.
Report. The enemy is down to 75 points.
Bring in the big guns. In this case, bring in the many guns, I guess. 25 is 70, 69. Bit of quiet here as Tonimontana gets ready for the push. Sturmpanzer shoots at a hell of an angle. And there you go, kaboom. Fallschirmjaegers, Panthers all on the move at the same time here. Tony's south to see but these victory point are getting more. But there you go, Crusaders going for the Sturmpanzer, a lot of smoke down again. Do have the anti-tank that's sort of more in depth there. Making it much tougher just Tony to swarm them. That said, Oziligath intervened his opponent by setting up 2 fronts in the base. So building somewhat less up the arc of fire there. There you go, Crusaders push back. The Sturmpanzer didn't take as much damage as like to. And we got the foot guards here. Copper machine will find the Sturmpanzer. Got more smoke down at the same time here. Last hit, more foot guards for Tonimontana and the British Empire. Units is pulling back his Crusaders for some much needed repairs for the time being. Oziligath keeps pushing. He keeps advancing.
We have been cut off.
Their anti-tank grenade, he's shocking the crew, but not enough to stop them. And there you go, Fallschirmjäger aces on the freak out there. Letting loose with the big guns.
Alarm. Sector overrun.
Blend section and loose got Pascals moving in here with a flame for that, so it's going to force the section out to the open.
Park deployed.
186 versus 64. Who's got that Sturmpanzer? Still hard at work there trying to blow up Tommies.
Pass around what you can. Clean yourselves up.
What do you have for us? Strike fear into the infantry.
Bit of quiet here once more between the two combatants, the two sides.
Fear the road most traveled.
More mines out of Oziligath, thumbs up. Tonimontana once we're getting ready to shift sides of the map here. Victory point card though is really starting to get uncomfortable here though for Tony. Oziligath can hold on for a bit longer. There you go, first Crusader hits a mine and gets knocked up the packs. Nicely set up there by Oziligath. Tonimontana not ready for this despite having several sections with minesweepers there. A painful blow there to the British Empire. Still he has one. Even he's lost one, he's still got 4 more Crusaders there. We're going for the MD-42 team. Outmaneuvered, outflanked. They're in trouble. They're in deep trouble. Tonimontana Crusaders going forward. We got smoke operation there as well. Charging in, having more damage, unhinged. So the Gus left front here, of course, could push for the Eastern Victory Point at the same time. 186 to 37, the clock is ticking. You need to get someone on the point, and of course, Oziligath, you should really get someone on this point. He might be concerned something's happening there, or he should just focus on the main force of Tony. 33 points. Crusaders are going for the Sturmpanzer. A lot of shots flying off it. Shots bouncing off the 100mm thick sloped frontal armour. Managed to hold the bleed hit 32. Another Crusader tank on the way. Meanwhile, up north, Panzergren is grabbing the northeastern Victory Point here away from Tony. Crusader swinging eastwards here. Another Panther for Oziligath. Still on armoured side skirts. Arguably, nothing you definitely could have benefited from. Might still benefit from, but oh well. 29. 28. Western Victory Point open as Tony is desperately scrambling from point to point here. A lot of grenades here, but yeah, he could actually move for that Western Victory Point. Keep up the beat here on Tonimontana. Ample pressure. Reuters, no Panther fast. Panzer's about to get wiped out. Axe on the scene. Sturmpanzer wing Panther force arrived. Massive hit there. Moving towards West Point, we got a Crusader tank here. That's going to make things a bit awfully complicated there. Sachs himself is a massive shockwave there. This is ripped through the entire house. Then east, foot guards forced away. 183 versus 23. Almost got a Crusader tank. Almost got it. Anderson got to knock it out. You'll have to see 180 versus 23. The clock is ticking.
We've done it.
That'll work. Grabbing the Victory Point there. Need to get the other one. Could drop in some Fallschirmjaegers and Fallschirmjaegers there. So far, Oziligath does not seem to be making any swift movement towards that Victory Point there. Maybe getting a trouble cap going against his opponent.
We've done it.
We're ready.
But arguably benefit from it. Allow him to maybe close out the match faster, giving Tonimontana less room to turn the game around. Bit of quiet there. Taking things awfully relaxed despite, the fact he's running out of victory points very fast. Pushing in there. Oziligath clearly not a big fan of that. Panzergren is, and for aforementioned reasons, I can't really blame him. They're just not really worth the price tag.
How proud they were! The
Crusader
enemy
swing
has
in
only
here.
10 points left.
Less than 10 points left here. We got the big push. We got smoke operation once more. 10 points. 6 points. Got the Sturmpanzer fairly decent points.
Sustaining damage.
Making use of the smoke here to try and turn the table on Tonimontana, at least in terms of victory points. He's very much winning. It's 2 points left. 1 point left. And that is APG game over. The victory here for Oziligath, the loss for Tonimontana. A brutal battle. Was a good highlight as to why Panzergren is definitely not as great in the current state of affairs, but well played on both sides. Tony, I think, could have benefited from a few more tactical elements. I think he also got way too focused on one side of the map early on and kind of forgot about the other side of the map, which definitely allowed Oziligath to build up a good victory point lead plus resource lead. So some room for improvement there, but I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. This is Imperial Indian saying cheers and see you all tomorrow for the next episode. Bye everyone.